Welcome back. The Speakeasy stage is featuring a moving new musical. It's called Lizard Boy. Here's a quick look.
This is the Lizard Boy. This is his story. Somebody learns what's right from wrong. Somebody learns what makes them strong. This is the Lizard Boy. This is his story of how a loner finds a friend, of how a broken heart can mend, and he dies at the end.
Oh man, not sure if that's a spoiler or not. Maybe our next guest will tell us. Joining us now is Lizard Boy's award-winning playwright, composer, and lyricist, Justin Huertas. Thank you so much for joining us, Justin.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I feel like that was a spoiler right there at the end of that song. But
it's the opening number.
It's the opening number. Okay, set up the story for us of how Trevor, the main character played by Keiji Ishiguro, who we just saw, becomes Lizard Boy.
So Trevor, this character, has kind of grown up with this lizard skin as a result of a bizarre, traumatic childhood accident, and he keeps himself inside all the time. And this is the one night where he feels like he could venture out, because this is the same night as a citywide costume party where he will blend in and no one will even notice that that's his actual skin. Everyone will think it's a costume. And he takes this time to go out and try and find someone to connect to. And in that journey, he meets a couple characters, one of which might have some clues to his past, and one of which might be the love of his life.
I mean, how fun is this story? I mean, I have to mention this. I mean, you don't meet a playwright every day. The amount of time it must take to put together an entire show, from characters composing music, the lyrics. How did you come up with this vision, and what's it been like for you to see it just kind of explode on stage the way it has?
Well, it's been amazing. I've grown up with comic book superheroes my whole life. I was a huge fan of X-Men, Spider-Man, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. And so my whole life I wanted to be a superhero. So when I got the chance to write myself a show, I originally starred as Trevor in the original cast. And I the first thing I thought is, I want to make myself a superhero. So the easiest part for me was coming up with the mythology of the world. I think the hard part ended up being Trevor's emotional journey, because it was something that I actually love myself when I was writing. And so it's pretty, it took a while to put all those pieces together. And now that it's here, it's pretty amazing to be able to see other actors and other directors and other artists do their take on the show. It's amazing.
Yeah, and bring it to life, right? One of the things that I noticed that's really unique on stage is the actors, right? They're playing several instruments live. Is there a particular past rock musical or anything that inspired this?
Well, I have always, I mean, I've played cello longer than I've been an actor. And so so that was always, music is something that's been like really close to my heart for a very, very, very long time. And once I started seeing instruments and musicianship being integrated on stage in productions, like there was a revival directed by John Doyle of Sweeney Todd, where it was 10 people playing instruments. And then he directed a production of Company, which was, I don't know, 16 people with everyone playing their own instruments. And that was really inspiring to me, because I always thought of myself as a storyteller, even when I was just playing the cello. So the fact that I could combine that with acting as a character, and it's not just playing cello, it's Trevor playing cello.
Right.
That was incredibly exciting idea to me. So once that sort of kind of clicked, then it was really fun to create these other two characters and figure out how they fit into the sound of the show, but also why they play their instruments in the different moments in the show.
Yeah, you know, the music too, it's a very fun, upbeat way, and it's still addressing social isolation. We know the character you mentioned, Trevor, only leaves his home that one time a year. Kind of relatable, right, for a lot of folks who spent the pandemic in isolation. Is there a message to those people, or what do you want people to take away when they see this musical?
Well, you know what's funny is I created that conceit of him staying in his apartment all year long back when we first kind of created this in 2013 through 2015 ish. And at that point, it wasn't that relatable.
Right, right.
I was like, how are people going to relate to? I have to be able to rationalize how he gets his groceries and how he does this and how he does that. And then of course, once we got through 2020, I was like, oh, this very unintentionally became the most relatable part of the show. So that, I mean, you know, for better or worse, that is helpful to like kind of get into Trevor's headspace because we've all been there. But it really it emphasizes his longing for connection because I know all of us, you know, when we were home that whole time, we just all we wanted was to be able to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to be able to do it, you know, via Zoom, but it's another thing to be able to like see and to like hear and feel and touch people. So yeah, I'm hoping that anyone who has ever felt that kind of loneliness feels a little bit less lonely when they watch the show.
Yeah.
And that's especially, you know, straight up to the very, very end, the very final song. I mean, that's the message that I'm trying to get to everyone is that this may look like a story that isn't yours, but it is.
Yeah.
Everyone has experienced this in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. Justin, we thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, Lizard Boy is on stage at the Calderwood Pavilion through November 22nd.